Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is John, the CEO of Eyelet. Hello.
Hey everybody.
Nice to meet you. Please tell us, what is Eyelet?
Nice to meet you as well. Eyelet is a digital adoption solution built for SaaS platforms. Right now we're just targeting web-based solutions, but come Q1 2023, we're going to launch our mobile solution as well. So what we're doing is we're offering a suite of no-code solutions that allows our customers to create experiences for their audience, for their customers and users, to create guides, walkthroughs, in-app messages, checklists, resource centers, so on and so forth, without ever needing the help of a developer, which is kind of important because most of our customers are non-technical founders or non-technical product owners.
Yeah. So what's the problem that you started with?
Well, we kind of started a while ago, like probably 7 or 8 years, when we were doing this as an agency. We were doing this optimization for SaaS companies, and we were optimizing their onboarding. And we often realized that these onboardings are usually complex or complicated. So were their solutions as well. So we needed something to kind of streamline the entire process. So we kind of started coding this from scratch. We are coding this onboarding tools from scratch, which kind of took a lot of time. And the issue with that, they work, but the issue with that is that you kind of need a whole deployment cycle to change even one single line of, instead of a comma, put a dot, bam, you got a whole deployment, which it takes a lot. It's a hassle. People wanna have the ability to create these interactions easily without going through hoops. And Eyelet does just that. It takes a couple of minutes to get it set up, and then literally in 30 seconds you can have as many guides as you want.
So what did you say are your top 3 features?
Well, the onboarding guides are one of them. They're quite popular. The second one would be the resource center used as a support mechanic, meaning that you can take your top 10 frequently asked question and make them into guided tours. So instead of having your users come to you and ask, how do you do X and Y, you can just show them, take their hands and walk them through the entire process. And I think the third one would be the bots, which allows you to automate all kinds of things throughout your system, interactions, and you can use the bots to connect to third-party services via a RESTful API, which is kind of good.
And when do you think companies should start thinking about this, to put a focus on this?
Yeah, well, from day one, but unfortunately that's not the case. Usually the way it goes, you build a SaaS tool, and usually at first it's a one-trick pony. It does one single thing. It does that really good. But as time goes on, you add another feature and another one, and you instead of having one simple tool, you now have this suite of products that you personally know very well, but your customer don't, and you can lose focus quite easily. So focusing on proper onboarding should be a critical step into launching a product, but it should be something that you revisit every now and then.
Yeah, it makes sense. And what is the pricing for Eyelet?
Pricing starts at $19 a month for a personal project, and depending on your monthly active users, it can go up to $249 a month for 50,000 monthly active users. Okay,
and do you have any integrations?
We're actually just rolling out the HubSpot and Segment integration right now, but as I've mentioned, the webhooks in the bots earlier, you can kind of use that already to kind of have a blank integration with everybody that has an API.
And I'd like to hear some success stories, some companies that used Eyelet and were happy.
Yeah, well, we're actually ecstatic about the fact that we've launched not that many months ago. We're probably like 6 months now since we're out in public. although we've been building it and working with smaller companies for like 2 years now. But so, and in these past 6 months, we've seen people come that we haven't contacted or, made a cold sale to them, and we're not running ads. So they kind of like word of mouth started spreading, and seeing how, for example, we've seen there's this big company. They have a technical product aimed at developers, and they were getting bombarded by support tickets. We integrated Eyelet and started creating these resource centers that were contextual. So depending on what page you were on, like as an example, you were on your account page. Okay. Instead of calling them or writing a ticket, saying, how do I change my billing information? Like that guide would show up right then and there. And the percentage of tickets went down by about 60% after the first 30 days. So quite impressive. And we've also seen like a 60 to 65% faster adoption rates by using a proper onboarding solution. We've seen churn down as well, just because you have the ability to showcase not only the main feature that the user came to the website for, but all of them. So you can show them the entire value of your product, not just a subset of it.
And are you the first one to do this?
Sorry?
Are you the first company to solve this problem?
No. We're actually happy.
How do you plan to differentiate?
We're kind of happy because we've been in the past involved in we had that first mover advantage for other products, but it was quite difficult because you have to educate your audience why they need you in the first place. Now kind of people know, because we have strong competitors with really great products, by the way. And our goal basically is not to build a product that's just better than what they're having. So if we don't want to do a product that does digital adoption, that's that. We don't want to do onboarding guides. We want to have a customer success tool that allows you to do a lot of the things that you'd usually have to do, from contacting people to measuring the success of your application, to measuring how the users kind of use the application in real time, while having these options of creating guides and in-app messages and checklists and bots and so on. And I think the insights and the bots already kind of give us a really interesting advantage in the market. We've seen people come from our competitors because we have these two. So it's quite interesting to see that.
And do you think the first mover's advantage is worth it?
It can be. You have to be prepared for that. So if you have a team that are thought leaders in that industry and know the market very, very well, having that first mover advantage could be a really good advantage. But otherwise, it can set you back. So meaning that you build a really good product, but you end up not being able to sell to anybody because nobody is aware of the product or the problem you're solving. So you then have to explain why you need that. So, there's pros and cons for both cases.
Absolutely. So you said you started the agency 7 years ago, and from agency you got to a SaaS?
Well, we did start an agency about 7 or 8 years ago, and we did marketing. We usually work with SaaS products. Me and my colleague Andre used to work with. We still work with a lot of SaaS products in mainly in Europe, but we've always seen this problem, like creating experience for the end user. It's very tough, and we always wanted to do something about it. We started out using our competitors, honestly, and it was okay. But we also saw this tiny little bit of feature that we kind of need, they don't have. And as we went on, we discovered more and more of these features that we would like to have, and we're actually building right now for Eyelet. One of them, for example, is this video support, where instead of just having a plain old tooltip show up with text, you now have a person in video. And we want to use that because aim to de-sterilize the connection between SaaS and user. We want to bridge that gap. So you're not interacting with just a machine. There's people behind it. There's a face behind your onboarding, walking through the entire process. And then there's the accessibility aspect of it. Some people are it's tough to read for some people. So maybe that can be a helpful aid.
Yeah, that's a lovely story. So you used your competitors. Nice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you gotta know your market.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And how big is your team right now?
We're 7 people at the moment. We're constantly looking to get new people in the team. Yeah, but we're 7 at the moment.
And have you raised any funds?
We did. We raised $155,000 as a pre-seed round back in December of last year. We're looking to close our current seed round of $750,000. We already got like 250 committed, and we're just looking to get the other part of the seed before we can actually close it.
And what's your end vision with Eyelet?
So we want to be the customer success platform that everybody wants to use, because we're really easy to use. You know how users have gotten to a point where they use Uber as a verb. I'm gonna Uber to X and Y. Look, we want to be that, but for Eyelet, meaning we want users to say, "Hey, I'm just gonna Eyelet that entire process," and Bob's your uncle. So that's the end goal. It's gonna take us a while to get there, but we're definitely on the right track.
So now I'd love to hear your backstory. So how you started your career from the beginning?
Well, I started out in 2005, 2006 as a Flash developer. Like 20-some years ago, Flash was a thing, and people used to love it, myself included. So I was a Flash developer. I was working on something that was really new to the market back then, called Flash Components, doing a lot of animation. I actually built my first SaaS, in 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Funny enough, that SaaS still exists, and they become our customer a couple months ago. So I'm really proud of it.
I sold it.
And so I started as a developer. 5 or 6 years down the line, I found myself very interested in talking to the marketing team about the marketing process. And I started kind of moving over to the marketing team. And I did that, basically. And I've been working in marketing ever since, mostly working with developer tooling companies, just because my expertise as a developer kind of gives me a unique advantage in that regard. So that would be probably the short history of my short history. Yeah.
And do you have any piece of advice for starting founders?
Oh yeah. We've screwed up a lot, so I have a lot of advice to give. And one of it would be start selling your product from day one. It doesn't matter if you have the product ready or not. Start selling it, meaning you start knocking on doors, getting feedback. Even if it's an idea, if you have a presentation, go sell it. Make a list. We did not do that. We worked for our product for like 2 years, and then we kind of started talking to people about it, showing it off. But it was already a finished product at the point. It wasn't MVP. You could just use it in production, which kind of made the selling process a lot tougher, unnecessary. So start early, start as soon as you can.
What's your favorite software apart from Eyelet?
Great question. So I'm still in the honeymoon phase with this product called Around. They do these meetings where it's kind of like a Zoom meeting. Okay. But if you haven't used it, you gotta use it. It's Around. It's called Around. It was acquired not long ago, and it's really good. I really love it. Okay.
And are you planning to launch a webinar with Eyelet? That's why you have a podcast studio.
Yeah. Well, that's twofold. This podcast studio actually happened like a while ago, and the webinar was kind of like a byproduct of, hey, since we have it, let's just use it. But we are planning on doing it. We don't want to call it a webinar per se, but we just want to have this open door policy where once every couple of weeks we meet with our customers or teams or whoever wants to join and just meet the product, meet the team, talk to us, see how everything's going.
That's super. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to tell us today?
I'm not necessarily. I can't think of anything at this point.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
It's lovely to be here.